So you got your e-bike and you're living in Southern California. There really aren't a lot of places to ride, but this trail is a really good option, and it's kind of mostly legal, sort of. A good place to start this ride is Cook's Corner. You're going to want to head out the parking lot, make a right on El Toro, and climb up the road just like you're going to do the Luge Loop.
Continuing on El Toro, you're going to make a right on Majeska Grade Road. This is hellishly steep, but it doesn't matter to you on an e-bike. You can easily make your way up, even in trail mode, until you come to Santiago Truck Trail on your right, and that's where we will pick up with the video coverage.
So we're climbing on the trail now, and here's a good question. What mode should you be in? I'm going to say that for this first third of the ride, you really want to be in eco, and you're going to want to do that in order to preserve battery power for when you're going to need it in the second half of the climb, but also on the way back, you've got some climbs you're going to have to do. You're going to notice in the video that interspersed with the climbing are a fair number of downhills, and of course that gets reversed on the way back. Okay, so eco it is, but here's the thing. Every bike is a little different in terms of what these settings mean, so I thought I should just tell you about my bike and the way I have it set up. I've got a 2019 Kenevo Expert. I don't think the model matters as much, but I have mine set to be 20% power on eco, 40% power on trail, and 80% power on turbo. Obviously, you can set up your bike any way you want. This would be my recommended settings for this particular ride because you just don't need 100% output. If you're riding a bike that is in the Kenevo or Levo line, 100% is a lot of torque. It's not necessary for this ride. You can drop it down to 80, save the battery power, and actually use turbo when you need it on the steeper parts of the climb without burning up too much battery. So it seems kind of like it's all been downhill up to this point somehow, but that's just because I've been skipping all the climbs, because even on an e-bike, they're not something you really want to watch. This downhill here is sort of the last one on the way to the Luge flag, which marks our halfway point in the climb up to Old Camp. Coming into view on our right is the Luge flagpole, which marks the top of the Luge descent. We are going to stay left and stay on Santiago Truck Trail because we're taking that all the way to the top. Now, you're going to notice after this descent that the trail is going to become a lot steeper and remain more consistently steep from here on up.
So that mountain we were climbing towards in the last shot, we are now on top of. And we've got this really awesome view down into the Luge itself. And then a little further on, we've got another view opportunity. It lets us see the whole OC and also the trail that we've been climbing for a while. There's been a ton of climbing to get to this point, and we're still not done. Heading back onto the main trail, we're going to make a right and then run into what is apparently a miniature lake that we need to ride around. You're going to encounter a few of these along the way if you do come out here in the winter. Otherwise, it's going to be bone dry.
Which brings up a really good e-bike point, which is that I think on an e-bike you could do this pretty much all year round and almost any time of the day. Whereas on a regular mountain bike, this is not a place that you would come. You would not do this in the summer unless you did it in the morning or night, which would be, good for mountain lions, maybe not good for you as a solo rider. Having finally arrived at the top, we are going to make a left onto what is actually the lower portion of Joplin. And that's what we're going to use to descend into Old Camp. Yay, we made it. This is Old Camp. This is what it looks like. That's where we came from, past the tree, and then spinning around 180, we see Joplin continuing on its way up into the mountains. So we're getting ready to leave, and this is a good time for an e-bike tip, which is that climbing out of this section of Joplin, it's not a lot of fun. You saw how kind of like loose and chewed up it was on the way down. It's not a good climb. So, man, this is a great moment. Turn it on turbo and get your ass out of here so that you can get back to the downhill. Heading into the downhill, it's a good chance to check in on battery. I'm a little past halfway. I'm not sure where you'll end up. Just keep in mind, you've got some pretty nasty climbs ahead of you, even though we've got 4,000 feet of downhilling ahead of us. So I recommend drop into eco. Hell, for a lot of this, you just turn your bike off completely and preserve that juice so you can turbo your way home.
get the line I wanted. Fuck. Hello. How you doing?
Full cap.
Yep. About another 2 miles. I think. I don't know. I was going so fast. Who knows how far that was? It's freezing cold up here. Riding with no shirt. Uh-oh. I'm like super low on battery.
Yeah. So I left my bike in zippy mode a little bit too long and used up a lot of juice. Don't be like me. Watch your battery. Make sure that you have enough juice to get out. It turned out I had 3 bars. It was more than enough. Now we're back at the flag, and I'm going to say, hey, if there's something that's going wrong with your ride, like, I don't know, maybe you ran out of battery, then this would be a good time to make a choice to just head down the luge and get yourself out of jail. Here we are at the end, or at least what is the end of probably all the fun parts. From here, you're back onto Majeska Grade and then down to Santiago to make your way back to Cook's Corner. Probably not the most fun thing riding on the street, but at least you got, 4,000 feet of descending on dirt. That's pretty good.